Hey guys, Life Through Lens here. This is yet another day where it is about the time to get rid of this. I know it doesn't really look like much, but there is a fair amount of stubble. I mean, maybe it shows up a little bit better on camera than I think. I don't know. But yeah, it's about that time because for me personally, as much as I like the facial hair, sometimes if I'm not doing so well mentally, which admittedly I haven't been, I'm doing better now, but as of lately, and I think I mentioned it in the previous video, I was kind of down in the dumps and kind of dealing with some rough stuff. Having facial hair for me sometimes kind of signifies that I'm like letting myself go a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, sometimes I willingly grow it, but a lot of the time I kind of go for the more clean shaven look. I like to be baby face, I like to be smooth. So, whenever I'm not doing so well emotionally and mentally, facial hair for me is like a no go. It's a bad sign. So I think as I'm getting better, this is like the kind of like the therapeutic section of things, right? This is a little bit more of like a therapeutic thing for me. It's self care, I guess that would be the right way of describing it. It's a form of self care. Also, I figured out what this is. This is a Gillette Fusion 5 Pro Glide. I don't know how I forgot the name. I don't know because they have a lot of these. So sometimes I get them all mixed up and I have used multiple of these, all different types. I'm fairly knowledgeable of Gillette, or I guess I'm a common user or a frequent customer, whatever you want to put it as, of Gillette. So yes, this is the Gillette Fusion 5 Pro Glide. And this has been my go-to for shaving. Like by far, anytime that I get new razors and such, I just get new blades for this. I don't even throw it out. I don't really have a reason to throw it out unless it becomes yucky and such. Then yeah, it goes in the garbage. But other than that, I specifically hold on to this one, this version, because of how helpful it is and how well it's performed for me. So, out of any razor that I've used before, this is the best. This is like top tier. Now, the only thing that sometimes screws me up a little bit is like getting right at the bottom of the nose, like right as that little section. I forgot the name of it. I'll probably put it in if I remember to look it up. It's that little section. And it's like sometimes I can't really reach the hair there. So that's when I go ahead and use this little trimmer here. This can be used for eyebrows. This can be used for ears if you're growing hair there. But it can also be used kind of to like touch up that little area, or at least that's how I use it. Because sometimes it looks a little awkward having a tiny little shadow at the bottom of the nose while the rest of it's shaved. Anyways, let me stop rambling. Let me get it all set. All right, hopefully it's not too noisy, and hopefully this time I don't turn into an absolute flashbang, because last time I kept stepping out of frame, and then each time I came back in, it would become blurry. And I hope the sound isn't really being too messed with, because I do have certain settings on for the microphone, and sometimes stuff like this in the background can interfere. So hopefully we're good in that ballpark, or that area of things, I should say. Now, I think last time when I shaved, I was super duper high on the sideburns. I think this time I'm just gonna do right where it kind of like starts and starts to kind of like thicken a little bit. And then now that I think about lighting and such and all the sounds and everything, after watching the previous video a couple of times, although it did great, it did a phenomenal job on YouTube, there were like a couple of things technologically that I felt could have been better. One of them being lighting. So I did dim the lighting in my bathroom thanks to having LED color changing bulbs. So I kind of just dimmed it down a few percentiles. So in that way, as I'm shaving, it's a little more visible as to what I'm shaving. And so I don't become extremely white. Like right now, I still am, and I think I'll just have to change that in post editing. But like, it at least takes care of like a fraction of the job, and kind of prevents me from looking like Casper from the Ghost. And then on top of lighting and such, I did also kind of angle my camera a little bit more, I guess, towards the door a little bit, because that's where I'm at. Because I noticed that from the last video, I kept popping out of frame. And I think that was mainly due to the fact that I was like a good distance away from where the camera was at. And it's mainly while stepping forward, because I'm not going to shave standing back and then having, either the shave gel drop on the floor or have whatever I'm shaving off my face drop on the floor. So I decided to move it. So in that way, whenever I am going forward, for say, to get the hair off of my razor, you guys will still be able to see me in frame. And I won't just like vanish from you guys or just barely be in frame. Because, I don't hold anything against you guys. I don't have hatred or anything. I don't have no hatred, no dislike. I'm not hiding from you guys. I think. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so I want to make sure I'm just visible on camera. And plus, as I've said in the previous one, it's like this could possibly help others that are shaving. Whether you're just starting, whether you're utilizing the same razor that I'm using, or maybe you were like me and went from electric to manual. Now, I mean, a lot of people say to stick with electric, but it's like personally for me, I'm not looking to like get an ever so close shave, but still be a trim technically. I want to like shave. I want to be as close to the skin as possible, and like be able to take care of any excess hair that may be laying around on my face. So I prefer a manual razor than electric. And it's like by far, I've had a far better experience running manual than electric. Like, don't get me wrong, electric is like the best and safe option, but if you're looking for like the smoothest shave, where it's like you're purely feeling the skin and everything, then yeah, I would say manual. Just, it's all practice. Make sure you know exactly what you're doing, how you're using the razor. So in that way, instead of, nicking yourself and making cuts, you can reduce that by at least 5-10% of a chance and get the smoothest, cleanest looking shave you can get on your face. Now, don't get me wrong, you're bound to make accidents while shaving. You're bound to have little slip ups here and there, especially for anyone that has hair growth like me, where it almost grows out like a goatee and then the rest of it tries to fill in. And it's like, the chin is really, really growing out, and then the rest of it tries to catch up with it. Because then sometimes your razor can get caught up on those hairs. And that's just how it is sometimes. I mean, another key factor that can cause that too is just having a dull blade or a dull set of blades. So it's always good to swap them out after a good few uses. But other than that, it's like, it's absolutely common to make mistakes while shaving and to have nicks and cuts. It's just a fair balance between what kind of razor you got and how you're using it. Never go too fast with it. Never put too much force. I think literally, as it states on some packaging, and as it's advertised sometimes, they state to just kind of let the blade glide, let the razor glide along the skin. Also, you may notice me go silent here and there. Like I said, it's not because I hate you guys. Well, not entirely. No, I'm just kidding. But it's good to shave and not talk. I mean, I'm sure that's obvious, but like, you know, It's to prevent any cuts and scrapes, because that's another key factor that can cause it. Now, if anyone's got any like pro tips as to how I can get that little spot, because I don't know if it'll show up on camera. Seeing boogers in there? No, I'm playing. But I think this time, oh, I might have actually gone it. I'm just trying to ensure that I don't accidentally cut my nose, because that has happened to me a few times. That has happened to me where I like cut my nose, and it was not fun because trying to manage that is never easy. I think I got it this time, because one thing about some of these razor blades these days, regardless of brand, is that along the top of it, it'll focus. It'll focus. Focus. Focus on the razor, not my hand. Focus on the razor. The razor. The razor. Ah, there we go. If you can tell, kind of along the top of it, it almost kind of has its own set of blades. And that's to kind of get any spots that you may miss as you're shaving. AKA right along the nose. It's just sometimes I get a little scared trying to get it, because I have nicked my nose doing that sometimes. That's probably the only like thing that I can't really say dislike, you know, just more of a, I guess, hesitant feeling of, okay, good, I didn't knock off the mic. How are we looking? Better? A lot more clean? Good. You lying? You can tell me. It's okay. No? Okay. Yeah, I knew you guys had my back. But, yeah, I mean, this is like a brief little video. Just kind of me shaving, a little bit of a self-care moment. Didn't really have too much to talk about apart from shaving, and kind of just ever so slightly touching base that I haven't really done too well, but now I'm starting to get a little bit better. I am also seeking out professional help to help myself, because, finally listening to my own advice, it's good to seek out help, whether that's a family member, whether that's a close friend, but especially getting a professional to help you, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a psychiatrist, whether it's both. They can be very, very resourceful, whether it be strategizing what you may be dealing with, whether it be trying to figure out what it may be that you're dealing with, maybe even figuring out the byproducts of certain things. Like, for a moment in time, I thought I just had insomnia because of, struggling with sleep and not being able to keep myself in bed and eyes closed and all. But then it also kind of, after some time, it kind of like turned into more so a byproduct of PTSD, as I mentioned in the previous video, because PTSD can also invoke signs and symptoms like that of potential insomnia. So, although it may not directly be insomnia, at least I know that now it's PTSD that could be causing something like insomnia, or could be directly causing insomnia. That's what I'm going to be also reaching out to a professional for, to kind of get that person's thoughts, kind of a second opinion, and to also fully evaluate and like verify if that's really the case. Personally, for me, as a little medical theory, I think that's what's going on, and as to why things have been rough here and there, especially throughout this week, or I should put week in quotes. It's not calendar week, it's personal, internal week, not calendar. So at least it felt like a week. It might have been a little bit longer. But so yeah. Now, I mean, what makes me think it's PTSD? I mean, I'm not going to dive in too deep, but there has been some traumatic moments within my life, and a very specific traumatic moment that has caused kind of like a permanent mark within my mind that every once in a while or just on occasion would tamper with me and tamper with me heavily. And after some time after that event or those events, now that I'm starting to become a little more comfortable discussing it with people, I'm now getting around to reaching out for help and to kind of help myself, strategize and really pinpoint what could be going on and how to at least handle it. Because I feel like for a moment in time, that's where my struggle was trying to handle it. I knew what it is, and I knew possible certain triggers and such, but I never knew how to exactly handle it. And then for moments when it does come out of the blue, because if there's anything to note about PTSD, it's not simply caused by triggers. It can also just be at any random moment that something within your mind could happen. So, although triggers can be a common thing to invoke such a thing within the mind, it can also just be a random moment. And for me, it's a mix between triggers and random occurrences. So, after some time, I'm sure I'll be able to get a hold of some strategies and figure out how I can navigate through this kind of stuff. And then, in the event that something happens within my mind, how to handle it and how to kind of not quite suppress it, but yeah, I guess handle it would be the right and definitive way of describing it, is how to handle it, how to, I guess, to a degree, reduce the effects of it. I think that's about it. Still kind of a fairly short video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. If you're new here, by all means, subscribe and click that bell notification. That way, I said that wrong, notification bell. That way you don't miss out on another video, whether it be another Shave With Me video, which I think I'll probably title this video Shave With Me Again. And then, as I've said prior, comment section always open for discussion about anything, whether it be mental health, whether it be things like, grooming, like men's grooming products, because as I've mentioned before, one of the other products compared to the razor is the shave gel, which I hope it's really being in focus, that I use, which this is also my go-to, by far best product that I've had for me, that has helped me get the deepest, cleanest shave, and face is extremely smooth. So highly recommend these products. But if you guys have any other products that you think I should give a shot and try out, let me know. And maybe I'll start doing, product reviews, kind of telling you guys my thoughts on it. And instead of hyping it up and making it all extravagant, I think I'll probably just cut to the chase and really break down the details of what I like and dislike about whatever products you guys may suggest or recommend that I try. Because by far, I've tried Gillette products. By far, I've tried Dollar Shave Club products. I've also tried Manscaped products. So I think the only ones I haven't tried, at least razor-wise, is maybe Harry. And then there's another one. There is another brand that I have not tried yet. And there's also different styles of razors that I haven't tried yet either. Like personally, the multi-blade razors, best thing for me. It has gotten me the cleanest, smoothest shave. But I know there's a lot of people that would stick to kind of more of the safety one-bladed razors. So maybe one day I'll give those a shot too, see how it feels, see how well it shaves my face. But yeah, I think apart from that, this is Life Through a Lens, signing off.